Omega Luke versus Stinger versus Omega Dad in a triple threat 5-year rebuild. And this time we are heading to the Serie A in Italy, as we've gave Stinger the option to choose a team and he selected Inter Milan. Dad then decided he wanted to be Juventus, which allowed me to reunite with AC Milan. Now this is the point system that we will use to determine a winner as well as a second and third place. So sit back and enjoy this triple threat rebuild as we battle against each other in the Serie A for 5 seasons. Welcome back, it's another triple threat rebuild with our mate Stinger. Now, as you can see, we're at the new setup. This is not what it's going to look like, by the way. We have been rammed into a corner at the minute and not enjoying ourselves. Plus, I've got terrible hay fever, don't know why. Dad's got a trapped nerve in his arm, so he's in pain, and Stinger's working nights at the minute. So all 3 of us are very vulnerable at the minute. So you're going to have to just feel sorry for us and just be grateful we managed to get it done in time, because you almost didn't have a video. But how are you, Stinger, other than working nights, mate? You good?
Other than that, mate, I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Lovely stuff. Well, welcome back. And of course, after the last triple threat rebuild that we had, we allowed Stinger to make a decision and choose what team he would want to be. And he chose Inter Milan. So that is Inter Milan with Stinger as the manager. I'm going to be AC Milan. Dad is going to be Juve. So let's kick things off in season number 1 and see whether we made any signings. Now, on AC Milan, I made just the one, bringing in Jonathan Tah, £17 million. Felt like the formation that I would like to play, I needed another centre-back, and Jonathan Tah is going to be that guy. £17 million, I think, is also a bit of a bargain for a player of his calibre. He's only 27 as well. And he goes straight into my lineup in a back 3. Yes, we got a 5, well, kind of 5 at the back, with 2 in midfield and then the 3 up front, using the wingers. But I'm going to nail in that Segundo Volante in Reinders, who I think could be a very good player there if given the game time. But naturally, as a best 11 pick, doesn't go in there because Benacer, who is currently out injured for the next 2 to 3 months, goes in there, which I don't mind too much, but Loftus-Cheek is the other guy, and yeah, I don't want that to happen. Anyway, so that's my lineup, how it looks like. Let's go over to Dad next, and we'll do the guest last off. But Dad, you had the most money out of the 3 of us, and you spent £67 million on Michael Coyote in this first season. A good right back.
He's a good right back. I do use this guy quite a lot, and if you need a good one, he's young, 19, good time to get him as well. So I think he'll be there from the 5 seasons on this challenge.
Unless you get sacked.
Unless I get sacked,
Tactically then, Dad, you're setting out in a 4-3-3 but with 2 DMs, locking in Michael Coyote, which I think is a smart move because he doesn't go in there naturally. You need him game time in season 1. Yeah. In the long run, he's going to be better for you than Danilo.
I'm taking a bit of a chance. I've got my wingers playing upfield as well, rather than into the midfield area. So with Cooper Morris right in the middle, I'm hoping that he's going to be strong just to sort of keep that midfield going with the 2 wingers outside him. So fingers crossed it'll work for me. I've got a good striker, so yeah, I'm happy with this formation I'm going with. Yeah,
you got a little mini Christmas tree going on in the middle
have,
there. So still in the festive season. Yeah. And over to Stinger with his Inter Milan side, a team that you're quite familiar with, mate. Do you want to? I mean, no signings coming in because you didn't necessarily have the money, but do you want to talk to us about your tactic?
Yeah, so no signings. We only had 20 million. So, but as you say, Inter's squad, elite. It's elite, and I'm used to it, which I probably shouldn't let everyone know about. But what we've gone with is a bit of a 4-3-1-2, inspired by Jose when he was there, when he played them in the league. And it's a bit different because it's got 3 people in the DM zone. So we've got to get Dumfries and DeMarco way up that pitch to provide the bullets for a pretty good strike force, I think, in Thuram and Lautaro.
Yeah, I agree. That era of Jose at Inter, I absolutely loved when they won the treble because they had the likes of Melito up front, whom I absolutely adored. I'm kind of thinking that tactic, I've seen your video on it, and of course, Stinger's videos are always one of the ones that I always go to for. The one that you did for Jose at Inter, I really enjoyed, and now I'm kind of worried that you might overpower us here because that team is disgusting. Let's have a look at the schedule for yours so far. We have already played each other in a friendly. That friendlies don't count, remember, but you did beat me 1-0. But you played 2 games since in the league. 2 wins without conceding a goal.
Solid. I mean, what oozes Jose more than clean sheets?
Exactly.
He did play a wider version in Europe, but I'm going all about Serie A, so we're just going full on attack that Serie A title, bring it home in season 1.
Well, speaking of Europe, you're in the Champions League Group G. We've got Celtic, Stuttgart and Galatasaray in there, so you have to go away to hell, as Dad likes to call it, with Galatasaray. Dad, let's look at your fixtures. You have played 2 games as well. You drew against Torino, which is rivals. They scored late as well.
2 late goals, really. Should have won that game.
Yeah, you were 3-1 up at half-time. And then you beat Lecce 1-0. Dusan Vlahovic, who's probably going to be your main target man.
Yeah, that's not a great result though still, is it? Only 1-0 at home. I'm a bit worried.
Yeah.
2 hard games coming up now.
Champions League Group C as well. You've got Real Madrid in that. You should go through because Slovan and Young Boys shouldn't cause you too much trouble.
I think that's exactly how it'll finish, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Now, as we said, none of us played each other yet, so no points dillied out to begin with, because we know the games against each other, now that we got to play 4 games instead of the usual 2, can really rack up the points. So schedule-wise for myself, I've also only played 2 games. Lecce I defeated 3-0, but a 0-0 draw against Lazio is one of them where I'm like, oh, that was a bad result, really, because I think I've got a better team, but I did have 2 injuries during the game, so I don't know. Maybe it's maybe a bit of a let-off. I'm also in the Champions League. Got Benfica, Liverpool and Girona. That's a difficult one.
Yeah, that is a difficult group, yeah.
Here we go. Season number 1. No points have been won just yet, but let's simulate the season and see who picks up the early advantage. Alright, season number 1. AC Milan are champions. Get in. With my 3 at the back, 90 points.
Comfortable as well.
Dad, all the way. Well, you dropped out of the top 4 on the final day to Atalanta there.
Yeah.
76 points. Inter in 3rd, just a point behind Napoli. You are causing us some trouble already. Now, I did think with us being like these 3 teams, there's so many teams in Serie A that can cause you trouble.
100%.
I didn't expect them to kind of split us to the point where one of us is in 5th, but there we go. I mean, even the likes of Fiorentina can be dangerous. They're down in 13th.
Roma, 11th.
Yeah, Roma down in 11th. Even Lazio down in 7th. They've had a bad season. Bologna's done quite well there. I lost 4 games across the season. 1 against Inter, 1 against Juve. So although I do win 4 points straight off the bat for winning the league, you both get a point there for defeating me across the season. Stinger lost 6. 1 was against Juve. We drew in the other game, so no losses against the rivals AC Milan, so that's got to be something to be positive with. And Dad, you lost 8 games in total, 1 each, so I do win another point there, but Stinger gets another point for beating you in the league. So let's have a look at the past positions then and see who traded places of who. All 3 of us at one point was top of the league. Stinger and myself was a lot closer.
Between you.
Yeah, until the very end. So that's unfortunate for you, mate.
Yeah, what a start we had. I'm looking at my defeats, and there's some disgusting ones in there that we should not be losing.
I mean, you were first for a long time, like almost a third of the season before I kind of caught you up eventually. Let's look at the profile of the league, though, because we also had the 3 top scorers. Dusan Vlahovic is sat with the golden boot, though, at 27 goals.
Who's with that?
Martinez with 25, Alvaro Morata with just a 19, but I think we must have been very much a well-rounded side in terms of the goals. Calabria got a 7.47. He's the highest average rating. That's both my wing-backs, which means that my tactic in my eyes kind of worked. That's the 2 danger positions, and I think Hernandez is one of my best players, so I'm happy to see he's up there. He also got one of the most amount of player of the matches, only behind Vlahovic. Dumfries is there as well. So for Inter, another fantastic wing-back in the league. But Jan Sommer with the most clean sheets with 21, Stinger. We got Manyan on 20 and Di Gregorio on 17. So defensively, you are quite solid, mate.
Yeah, you'd expect that from a Jose team, wouldn't you? It's just a couple of sloppy results have cost us inevitably, but it's better than the last time I was here.
Yeah, it's a better start. I mean, I'm looking at the Serie A. Fewest conceded, you had the least amount by 1. I was 24 goals. You conceded 23. Dad was down in 31. The most clean sheets you had, again, just 1 more clean sheet than I had. Dad had 17, whereas you had 22. But the most goals, I actually cleared you there by 12. Dad was down in 80. So, yeah, most shots and fewest shots against, actually. I had very little shots against me. I must have just, when they were having shots, they were just good ones because they were going in a lot more frequent by the looks of the amount of shots compared to what I conceded. Now, we are on AC Milan competition. Did I win anything else as well as the league? Boom! The Coppa Italia as well. Beat Lazio in the final. Oh, you boys are going to be catching me up already. Dear. There's another 3 points to add straight away. Didn't get very far in the I say didn't get very far. Quarter-final of the Champions League. Bayern Munich. I won't click on it just yet. because it might spoil who has won it. Now, let's go to Juve and Dad. We can see your competitions. Dad, you won the Europa League.
Get in.
I mean, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself getting
Yeah,
demoted
well,
into
young
the
boys.
the Europa League.
Done me a big favour. I'm happy with that.
Because somehow you lost to Young Boys, who knocked you into the Europa League, and you beat Tottenham in the final.
Oh, there you
What
go,
a
see.
shock.
A little bit of a favour return for me there, I think.
In the Coppa Italia, knocked out by Atalanta, so
Yeah.
neither
Gotta
myself
take
or Stinger knocked you out. He might have knocked you out of Europa League, though. We don't know. We don't know how far Stinger got, whether he qualified for the Champions League or not. So over to Stinger. Probably going to be Aston Villa, who's eliminated
Yeah,
him.
come on,
No.
Knocked out in the group stage. You finished 4th.
That is horrible. What am I doing?
Stuttgart and Celtic
Dear, oh dear.
That is-
knocked you out. Galatasaray finishing top. You won 1 game against Galatasaray at home, drew 2 to Stuttgart, and lost 3. You lost both times to Celtic 1-0.
That's shocking. That is shocking.
That is bad. I think your league form kind of carried you there. Quarter-final as well by Fiorentina. So I didn't knock any of you out, or we didn't knock each other out. There was a Super Cup played, though. You lost to Napoli, and in the semi-final, you beat Lazio. So neither myself or Dad was in the Super Cup this year to take any points. We don't count any points for winning the Super Cup, but you get points for beating each other in it. From the off, then, let's look at Stinger's squad. 28 goals from Lautaro Martinez, 15 from Thuram. Happy with that, or are you expecting more?
Happy with Lautaro. I would have expected more from Thuram in that Sami Eto'o role, but especially when you consider we scored 90 in Serie A, so you can see it looks like we've chucked the goals around, like it's been proper distributed over the squad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, DeMarco's had a great season there with 20 assists.
Yeah.
And 6 goals. The same as Dumfries, really. 6 goals and
Yeah.
14 assists. I'd say those two have been your standout players for sure.
Yeah, in that system they need to be as well, but I'm not expecting them to score, so that's quite handy.
Now, your transfer budget going into the next season, 32 million, but you've got a big wage budget there, and obviously players are worth quite a lot in Inter Milan's side. So, I mean, you've got 100% your transfer revenue should you sell anyone. I think you might be all right in terms of transfers. Let's have a look, Dad. Squad-wise. Goals, Dusan Vlahovic with 34.
Yeah, gotta be pleased with that.
Yeah. A couple of loan signings after that getting the goals, which is...
I mean, really, after that, I'm not too happy with that, really.
Both loan signings are actually joining, I think, on permanent, so that ain't too bad.
then.
Oh, no, Constantine isn't, but Gonzalez is from Fiorentina. He's probably the better one out of the two as well.
Yeah.
You do have a buy option, though, on Constantine of 8.6 million.
Mars, I'd have expected a little bit more out of him, to be honest. Whether I'm going to push a little bit further forward, I don't know yet. So, something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Michael Coyote had a good season by the looks of it, development-wise. A lot of green arrows in there.
He'll be there for definite, I think.
Transfer budget, 89 million.
Pleased with that? Yes.
Dad has the money
Bit of
in
damage to
season 2 as well. Unless they've given me something after a domestic double. 24 goals from Alvaro Morata. Very Marmite type of player, isn't he? But Hernandez was the second top scorer at left back, or left wing back. 13 assists as well. Leao getting less goals than Hernandez, which is hilarious if you look at what's happening in real life right now. Both of them have fallen out with the manager.
Yeah.
So that's funny. Leao getting 12 and 11, not great at all. Reinders, 28 assists. Oh, that was a good roll, putting him in there. That was fantastic. Let's look. Transfer budget, £22 million. So no, I have not been given anywhere near as much money as what Dad has been given going into season number 2. But let's have a look at the points. So season number 1 points are Omega Luke with 8, Omega Dad with 7, and Stinger with 2. All right, season number 2. Let's start off with your transfers, Stinger. Now, Erkan Kurcu, signing one of Dad's favourite players at Benfica.
Glad you said his name because I was about to just call him Erkan, so cheers for that. But yeah, I just needed a bit of extra quality because I'm going to go with 3 DMs again, and although not a natural, he can do that job, especially with the role we're going to stick him in. And also, I got a bit sentimental. This might be an error because I've overspent massively on Naby Fekir. I absolutely love him in FM21. FM22, I haven't used him in FM24, so this is a bit of a risk, but I want to play him in that AM slot that I've slightly tweaked on the tactics.
Yeah, so you've changed it ever so slightly.
Yeah.
You got Regista now on the left-hand side. I quite like
scores
that.
quite a few goals for him when I use this item as well, so you might be right with him there.
Yeah, so it's a bit more aggressive. So instead of a DLP, we've got a Regista, so he's going to get naturally a bit further forward to combine with DeMarco. I don't want to change much about DeMarco because he was class last year. Slight role change for Dumfries. In honesty, I'm just trying to replicate what DeMarco did, but on the right-hand side. And I've just gone a bit more traditional up front, where it's not as offset. We've got pressing forward. And I want more out of Taram, so I've pushed him from deep line forward up to advanced forward. And then Fakir can do whatever he wants in behind them.
It's like the teacher's pet.
Yeah, basically. But the thing is, unlike you two, who seem to have massive faith in your assistant manager, I'm locking that entire team in. So I'm going to run them till their legs fall off.
Fair enough. Let's see if it pays off.
Probably.
It's a brave strategy, Cotton.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's go over to AC Milan's transfers next, and we'll leave Dad Money Man till last. I sold a couple of players. Kalulu's gone, Adley's gone, giving me a little bit of money there, about £28 million, which allowed me to bring in a couple of extra signings. Now, Angel Di Maria joined on a free transfer on a one-year deal, from Benfica as well. Obviously, he has that one last season. I've taken advantage of it on that right-hand side. Tony Martinez, £15 million. I couldn't really find a player that replaces Alvaro Morata for the money I had, because there was other positions that I wanted to fill. I decided to bring in Tony Martinez. He's a really good pressing forward who likes to beat the offside trap, who I think if Morata starts coming out of the team, Tony Martinez can definitely fill a role. And Morten Hjulmand, we are definitely raiding the Portuguese league after the last triple threat rebuild we did. There's 4 players, I think, already that we've used, so I'm happy with that. The aggression, obviously, in the work rate is 2 of his standout highlights that he's got. Tactically, I'm keeping it exactly the same after that season, but I'm not locking Reinders in this time. My best 11 keeps him in there with Morten Hjulmand. So I'm really happy with that, to be honest. Hjulmand comes in straight into the lineup. Pulisic keeps his position instead of Di Maria, but hey, I'm sure Di Maria will feature at some point. Dad, let's look at your transfers. You've kept the same tactic, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going with the same tactic. I didn't do that bad. I just felt like I could just do with improving a couple of players, so that's what I've done. Okay,
so let's have a look to see who you brought in now. Gregorio and Gonzalez are 2 players who are already coming into the club.
Yeah.
But then you spent £33 million on João Palhinha, really good CDM.
Yeah, solid midfielder there, so yeah, quite pleased to get this guy in.
Then we've got Rooney Badgie on the right-hand side.
That's another position I felt I wanted to strengthen. He's a young lad again, and we know he gets good. And then we just go back to the Portuguese league again and get a striker in that I know is really good.
We might have to ban this league next time we do a triple threat rebuild. But Ousmane Diomande comes
20,
in.
He plays the 2 positions very, very good as well, so I can use him in that DM position or the centre defender.
Okay, now £17 million on the outs, the likes of Weston McKennie left. Rocchetti for £3 million as well. Fagioli's gone out on loan. As we mentioned, the tactic looks the same. Do these players go into it? Rooney Badgie does go into the lineup.
That was a big help, really. So, yeah.
Yeah. Coop Miners ahead of Paulinho and Locatelli. We've got Diomande going straight in there next to Bremer. Yeah. And Coyote actually keeps his position. So
yeah, I'm pleased with that sort of format as it's going, so I'm going to go with that.
All right, let's look at the schedule so far then. Now, we've played a few games. We've played the Super Cup, which obviously won the Europa League, lost it on penalties to Liverpool, so that's not too bad really when you consider them to have one of the best teams in the game. But this time, whereas last season you dropped points against Torino,
give them a right hammering.
Yeah.
Made sure this time, pleased with that.
That is a good result. Hellas Verona, a 3-2 win as well.
Pleased with that as well, especially seeing Rooney Badgie scored a goal as well, so I'm pleased with that as well.
You're 3-0 up in that one, almost threw it away. Frosinone, though, salvaged a point at home in the 93rd minute. From Keenan Yildiz.
So where I thought I was doing really well, all of a sudden, bang, and you just get kicked in the backside again and
just say nuts. Kicked in the nuts. Champions League fixtures, Dad. You got the likes of Benfica and Porto. We're not escaping the Portuguese league anytime soon. Barcelona's in there away though in the first game. Chelsea at home.
I think that I'm going to qualify through those games.
Well, remember, Celtic caused Inter Milan a little bit of trouble.
But it's the games in the middle of that I think I could qualify through.
Okay, let's have a look at Stinger's schedule at the start of the season. You've played 3 games, mate. You've lost the first one to Atalanta, but won the next 2, again, without conceding a goal.
Yeah, it's a tough little start, that, though, isn't it? Atalanta away, but it's good to see big wins at home against some decent teams in Rome and Fiorentina, so that looks pretty promising.
Yeah, 4-0 against Fiorentina, especially with Martinez hat-trick to kick things off. Champions League fixtures, you got Bayern Munich to begin with. Arsenal's in there, Dad's favourite side. Away to Real Madrid as well. Some tricky games.
No, that's a tough group, especially if you consider I couldn't beat the powers of Galatasaray and Celtic last time. This could be a bit messy.
Well, I think you're in the Champions League thanks to Dad winning Europa League.
See, that's annoying because I would have preferred to be in the Europa League.
He's caused you some trouble there. But all right, let's have a look at my schedule at the start of the season. I'm currently first, and that's because I won all of my 3 games, but I had a lot easier fixtures than the other 2 guys. But 3-0, 3-1, and Lecce 3-0 as well. My Champions League fixtures, let's see if they're easier or harder than the other ones. We've all got some big teams in there. I've got Barcelona away and Man City at home. I don't think any of us have got like an easy set of fixtures in there. Starting off with Ajax away, which can also be a tough start, and Atletico Madrid as well. But all right, season number 2 then. Dad is, despite obviously not winning the league or cup, Dad is still right on my ass in terms of points, but Stinger's good start could be a good season number 2. Let's find out what happens. Season number 2, and I'm champions again. 89 points. And boys, where are you? Second place is Atalanta.
I almost had the same record as you. I just drew too many games.
Yeah, I mean,
I only lost 3, same as you, look.
Third place, Juventus with 77 points. Stinger, 69 points of Inter Milan, mate.
Naughty lad, He's a naughty lad.
Isn't it amazing how slight changes to your tactic can just completely wreck it?
Well, locking in 10 or 11 players.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there.
Come on.
Yeah, I forgot to play a revolt. They want a day off, bless them.
Let's have a look then. I lost 3 games. I only conceded 19 goals.
Wow.
The 3 games I lost, 1 was to Juve away. So Dad does pick up a point there, but Parma and Atalanta, of course, finished in second. Dad, you only lost 3 games as well. Didn't lose to any of us.
Only lost them 1-0 as well.
Yeah. So Stinger doesn't pick up any points there, and you lost 7 games. I'm yet to beat you yet. It's really frustrating. We must have drawn both games there.
Yeah.
But Dad did beat you twice.
Yeah, this is not good, is it? This is starting to look like Portugal all over again.
Now, let's have a look at the past positions in the league. So, I was up there from the beginning. You two kind of flirted with each other in the first half of the season, but second now kind of stayed away. I think the points tally was a bit too much there. The profile of the league, none of us got the Golden Boot winner. Alvaro Morata there was 13, but he's the only one to feature. Yeah, Panama. The thing, the strikers that we both have, but we all have in our side, and not one of them can beat Pinamonte with his 16 goals there at Sassuolo, who finished, by the way, down in 11th place. Average rating though was Hernandez. Tamori's up there with a good average rating. I'm happy with that. Mike Mannion, 23 clean sheets. Stinger, 22 clean sheets, and yet you lost 7 games.
Yeah.
That is mental, really. You must have just had so many goals in every game.
It's just not good, but if you look at how many I scored, I wasn't scoring either, so...
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the most goals now. You're down in 4th with 57.
Yeah, what a drop that is. That is a bit of a disaster.
I had 83 goals. I had also the fewest conceded with 19. Dad only was 3 behind me with 22. You were 24. And clean sheets, as we said, was 2 between us there in clean sheets. I must have had a different player playing goal for me at some point. So it was close in terms of the statistics, not in terms of the points. I think game management helped me win the league there, because only conceding that amount, I mean, conceding 19. Parma was the only team who conceded 3 or more. We're on AC Milan again. Did I win anything else? Oh, it's a treble! Oh, boys.
That's a shocker.
Jesus. Well. Champions League win against Liverpool. Coppa Italia win against Atalanta. The runners-up in both domestic competitions. Liverpool in the Champions League. Wow, right, okay. And the Super Cup I won as well. Beating Inter Milan, that's another point, unfortunately, Stinger. But you did beat Napoli in the semi-finals. That's not Dad. Don't think you gained a point in this season, mate, so far. Unless... Oh, no, you weren't even in the Europa League, were you?
No.
How far did you get? Oh, round of 16 by Juve.
Yeah, it just gets worse, doesn't it? It just gets worse and worse.
Dad, you get a point for knocking him out, but you don't get a point for beating him because you drew in both legs.
Wow.
So no points distributed between the two of you there. Well, that was while I was knocking out Copenhagen. So quarterfinal by Atalanta. Again, I think that's 2 seasons in a row Atalanta have cost you in the Coppa Italia.
They got to the final, so unlucky there. You could,
Yeah, you could have been a Milan final. Yeah. Juventus, so Dad, let's have a look at your competitions. Quarterfinal by Barcelona, semi-final by Atalanta. They are disrupting us. Well, disrupting you guys anyway. Massively in the league and cup. this season. Fair play to them. I'm a big fan of Atalanta. Is it still Gasparini? Yeah, it's still Gasparini. They got Scalvini there as well. Okay, now quarterfinal by Barcelona. It was a 5-3 loss. You were up 3-2 in the first leg. Yeah, I knocked out Newcastle there. Liverpool knocked out Real Madrid, which might have done me a favour. That's when I beat Barcelona, and they beat Bayern Munich before facing me in the final, where I picked up that win there. Now, Dad, at Juve, 20 goals from Vlahovic. Not a lot. Rooney Badji had a good season, though.
That's a good season from Badji, yeah, I must admit. I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with 20 goals from my main striker now. I'm not happy.
No, Gonzalez got 15 with 8 assists. That's not too bad. In terms of the transfer budget,
a change coming, I think.
do you reckon?
Yeah.
£60 million. Again, it's a bit of a big budget.
It's a good budget for the Italian league, I think. So.
Yeah, you just need to remember that non-EU rule.
I've done well so far, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've been keeping it
So far, so good.
I've been keeping an eye on that.
Non-EU rule always
You
costs you at some
with
point.
Stinger, didn't you? That didn't
Yeah.
work, mate, I tell you.
All right, Stinger, you've got... I mean, your top scorer is actually out on loan, and it's Dad's player.
Yeah.
And both seasons so far, he's been telling you to use him. Is Esposito with 25 goals.
He might have to come and have a little play next season, I think, because the rest of the team are just not doing it. I mean, what a drop from last season.
14 goals from Lautaro Martinez is poor from his standards, and look how good he is as well.
Yeah. Him and I speak to up the front, mate. I'll tell you, there's a lethal.
Yeah, what would you do with Turan, though? That's the question.
These are all things going through my head.
Transfer budget, Stinger, you've got 72 million.
Yeah, I might have to use it this time. I might have to have a little look around and back up this team a bit, especially if I'm going to play them to death like I did last time. That might not be the right technique.
Yeah, I think that might have been a bit of a mistake there. Let's have a look at my goals. We've got 26. I've also got a player out on loan who scored more goals. That's Colombo. Lorenzo Colombo, who was actually in our league at Lazio. So he's done really well.
Yeah.
Alvaro Morata got 20 goals. Malik Tau actually got 18. Rafael Leao got 15. Di Maria, as we mentioned, might be his final year. He is actually retiring.
Yeah, he is.
13 goals and 26 assists. It's phenomenal. And Pulisic got 22 as well. I don't know where they're getting them because they're just coming off the bench and getting obscene amounts of assists. The transfer budget that I've got, though, is only 37 million. That's a bit disappointing. I've won the Champions League,
We would have more than that.
the treble, and the domestic double the season before, and I've only got 37 million. I know they got financial troubles, but hey, there we
Next
go.
season's only going to be 10 million, so.
Well, yeah, at the minute. All right, then, let's have a look at the points after the first couple of seasons. Season 2 points are Omega Luke with 15 and Dad with 4. Stinger with 0, meaning the total points are now Omega Luke with 23, Dad with 11, and Stinger with 2. All right, season number 3 then. Let's start off with the transfers that I made at AC Milan, because a couple of players have left, including Chuck Woozy, who gave me £23 million. Also, a couple of players left on loan. That gave me a little bit more of a budget as well. And I think I spent quite well, considering only one player was actually bought for any money, because Nelson Semedo come in as a good backup right back on a free transfer. He's only 31. Dominic Calvert-Lewin came in as a striker, and I'm unsure whether he's going to start or Morata's going to start and kind of just let him fight it out. But they might not start at all because Diogo Jota has also joined from Liverpool. That's who I spent money on, £63 million as well. Maybe I've overspent, we'll have to see. But tactically, I haven't changed it at all, and my best 11 pick does stick Morata in there. None of the new signings actually go into the side, and my best right back is out on loan. So I don't know what that tells you about the signings that I made or how this season's going to play out, whether it's going to be very much the same scenario. But let's have a look at Stinger's transfers this season. £7 million out, but £101 million on the ins.
That's pressure straight away, isn't it? That is a lot of money, and not all of them are going to start. So first off is Malo Gusto, because I needed good cover for Dumfries, especially with my method of locking everyone in. If they get injured, at least someone can jump in. So Gusto in from Chelsea. Then we've got the big signing for centre-back of Christian Mosquera at Valencia. He's only 21. He's an absolute unit of a central defender. Can play full-back as well, but he'll be playing centre-back because I've changed formation slightly. And we've got a new goalkeeper again from Chelsea in Jorgensen. Sommer's getting on a bit, so I wanted someone good enough to jump in if Sommer does fall off a cliff ability-wise, because he's about 36, 37 now.
What about the tactic, mate? You've changed.
Yeah, I have. Going off old Inter managers again, well, current Inter managers, we've gone Inzaghi inspired, where he uses his floating centre-backs to really bomb up that pitch. So we're going to have Pavard on one side, Bastoni on the other as wide centre-backs on attack. they're going to combine with complete wing backs. So I took to heart last season where we only scored 50. And believe it or not, last season we got 9 0-0 draws. That's not happening this season. That's not happening. We've got 3 at the back. We've got 3 roaming midfielders. All playmakers. People are looking at this now thinking, what are you doing? But there is method to this madness, I hope. And then we've got the 2 up front. And yes, I am locking in 10 out of 11 again. I'm going to prove you two wrong and me right, honestly.
Wow. All right, fair enough. Dad shook his head when the 3 playmakers were on there, and I was thinking, you can't talk. You were always sticking more than 1 playmaker in, but 3 is in there. I mean, I do love the wide centre-backs on attack with complete wing-backs because the overloads are crazy. But yeah, defensively, I don't know how you're going to cope. We'll have to soon find out. Who cares about defence, though, when you're scoring loads of goals? Dad, talk to us. Your transfers this season. You had a decent budget.
Yeah.
£20 million went out in Keenan Yildiz, which I think is way too low. I think he's really good. I wouldn't have sold him for that amount. Ricardo Horta replaced him, who's 30, and you spent more money on him, and he plays the same.
I've only got 2 seasons to go, so I'm taking a chance. Yeah, I know, but I think he's a little bit better, so hopefully, and he can play right across the front line as well. So. And
Geertruida is the other signing.
I mean, this is one of those signings where you just got 3 or 4 positions covered. I mean, he plays the whole of the defence and the whole of the midfield, so he's a good player to get in. 25. He might not start the season, but he will definitely do some part of the season for me in whatever position they want him to play in.
Yeah, now you didn't change tactic, but you changed roles.
I just changed a couple of roles, So, yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm sort of sticking with it at the moment. I've got a little bit better as each season went past so far. So fingers crossed I can get a little bit closer to you. Yeah, I mean, Rooney Bajie and Nicolas Gonçalves on that right-hand side. Yeah. Kind of trading places around. Let's start with your schedule then. You're 3rd in the league so far. We've played 3 games in total. You've won all 3. I mean, the one I'm more happy with is the last one, the Lazio 1-0 away. So I'm pleased with that result, really. Torino. Yeah, I'm
against the rivals.
Yeah, so it's a good result. But the Lazio is the one I'm sort of more pleased with, really. And I've got you in the next game. Yeah, exactly. Champions League fixtures. You've got Barcelona away to kick things off. You're going to go to hell with Galatasaray. There's some tricky fixtures in there. Dortmund as well. Some hard games. Yeah, it's going to be alright. It's touch and go, I think. But I'd like to think I'll get through the next to the knockout stages. All right, over the Stingers fixtures then so far at the start. Again, Stinger I got next round. 4 wins out of 4. So you've played a game extra than Dad, and you've won it as well. Only conceded 1 goal so far.
This is the method, right? Because we had 9. Have I mentioned this before? 9 0-0 draws last season. So we're going this attacking to take advantage of other teams. We're doing it so far. 4-0, 2-0, 3-1, 4-0. Things are looking pretty promising so far. Very good start. Champions League fixtures. We got to play each other. Yes. So there's 3 Milan derbies at least with some Champions League fixtures. You've also got Liverpool at home. Yeah. Other than those 2 games, though, I wouldn't say there's anybody big that you've got to really play. No, I'm looking forward to taking you on again because I need to redeem some points here because at the minute I am embarrassing myself again. So the more times I can play you and beat you, the better. More games against each other, more points. Let's have a look at my final fixtures then. I'm 2nd because, again, I've also won all the games that I've played. So Stinger is ahead because he's played 1 game more, but all 3 of us have won all of our games at the start of the season. Fiorentina, Hellas Verona, and Salernitana. I also beat Bologna in the Super Cup. Fair play to Bologna. They had a good league campaign. They also won the Europa League. Beat them 4-0 in that Super Cup, though. Let's have a look at my Champions League fixtures. You can already see Manchester City there at the start. Then Inter. I mean, what a start. PSG. Then PSG away. Ooh, there's some tough ones in there. Newcastle's not going to be an easy game. No, I mean, I am the current holder of the Champions League. I don't know whether I'm even going to get through the top 8 here with these fixtures. We'll have to find out. But yeah, all right. Season number 3 then. I've taken a bit of a step ahead of the other 2 boys. Can they catch me up? Let's find out. Well, season number 3, and it's 3 Serie A's in a row for a mega league. Boys, Sassuolo this time's ahead of you. What is going on? Don't know. Fair play. 4th and 5th. I'm the only good thing about it. I'll give you. Here it comes. A naughty number again. 69 points for Dad. I'm disappointed with that. Really big disappointed. I don't know what to say. I mean, after that start as well, what has happened? Lost 9 games in total, Stinger. There's a lot of games there where you haven't scored a goal. 8. The best thing about this is how cocky I was at the way we started the, season.
At least you only had 2 0-0s, mate.
Well, every cloud.
Now, looking at it, you had 71 points, so 75 Sassuolo, 4 points ahead of you there. Napoli was 83. They had a good season. 96. I lost 2 games, only conceded 13 goals.
I mean,
Napoli scored 3 of them.
Fair play to you, fair play.
You did beat me.
That's all that matters.
So you get a point there, Stinger, for beating me. Napoli was the other team that managed to do so. I drew the other games, which was 1 against Dad. So I did beat you in 1 game. I beat Dad in the other as well. So there's points. So a lot of points shared are out there. But 13 goals and scoring 113, by the way.
We're nowhere near you. Different league completely.
Absolutely. There's 3 at the back. I haven't changed it as well since season number 1. It's doing well. This is with Alvaro Morata up front, guys. Like, come on. Top scorer, Vlahovic with 20. Rafael Leao picking up from his bad season last year, getting 19 goals. Morata there with 16. But Omega's in the league. Ooh, he's good. Yeah. Up front with Lukaku. No wonder why Napoli did quite well. Yeah. Average rating was dominated by AC Milan players. Mike Maignan, 26 clean sheets. Is absolutely mental.
Yeah, so you only conceded in 12 games.
Yeah, that is insane. Now, the pass positions, once I got up to the top, I pretty much stayed there. Sting, you dropped off after those 4 games by the looks of it.
Yeah, I just had a look at my schedule, and the end of the season is not pretty, so I really, really need to start copying you lot and not letting my entire team do the work.
You say that again. We did warn you, I'll be honest. Team overview. Now, most goals, AC Milan with 113, fewest conceded 13, we know. Most clean sheets with 26. You had the most dribbles, Stinger, so that was quite good. Dad's not featuring at all on there, but he's second in quite a lot of the things. Let's have a look, though. AC Milan, did I retain the Champions League? No, and I didn't win the Coppa Italia either, or the Super Cup, which Inter Milan knocked me out, so there are some points being won here. Champions League round of 16 by PSG. We won't go and click and see because it might ruin other competition pages, but let's have a look at Dad's on Juventus. Not winning a thing either. PSG knocked you out of the Champions League too. Yeah. Coppa Italia by Lazio in the quarterfinal. You did win the Super Cup, which meant you beat Stinger in the final there 4-2, so that's a point for you. Don't get anything for winning it, but the Coppa Italia is there to be won. The Champions League is there to be won. Has Stinger won one? He's got the Coppa Italia. Well done, mate.
Yes! Feel good, because I was embarrassing myself until then, so we're back.
4-2 win against Napoli in the final. Quarter-final by Real Madrid, so that's not too bad, really. Both reaching the quarter-final. The winner was actually Real Madrid, who beat PSG in that final there, so not too bad. Let's have a look then at the league phase of the Champions League. We are all in the top 24, but not in the top 8. Stinger finished highest with 2 losses to Liverpool and Leipzig. That's not good for me. Marseille and Salzburg, and you won 4, beating Milan, so you get yourself another point there. Now, Juve won 4, didn't concede a goal in them either. Dad drew to Celtic, who of course has quite a lot of problems. Lost when you went to hell in Galatasaray. I lost 2. 1 was obviously to Inter and Newcastle. Drew 3 games, drew against PSG there, and won 3, beat Man City in one of the games. That's not too bad. Okay, let's have a look then. We're on Stinger at your goals this season. Martinez got 25, Thuram got 20.
Yep, it's the threat of Esposito, see, they've arrived. Finally got going, but the rest of the team is, not much contributions going on.
No, not so much. Transfer budget-wise, you've got £57 million to spend next season, so that's, again, quite a good amount in the Serie A to bring in new players. Dad, you got Vlahovic with 31 goals there. Gonzalez. I keep calling Gonzalez. It's Gonzalez. He's got 12 goals. Probably get loads of comments about that. Pronunciations. Rooney Barge, you got 12 assists. He had a good season.
Him to score a few more goals. I think that's what sort of let him down there a little bit. Yeah. So.
But then he's been chopping and changing with the other 2 players. He's played enough games still to have a good season. And then let's see your transfer budget. 98. I don't know where they're getting this money from, because you ain't winning anything. But they're giving you enough to do
I'm happy with
damage.
that. I'll take that.
Oh, of course you will. Yeah, I'm sure you are. Because I bet I've just won the league again. They're going to give me absolutely peanuts. 21 goals from Rafael Leao. He's my top scorer. Morata might be the last year I used Morata, to be honest. 17 goals. Pulisic with 16, and 16's decent. Jonathan Tah got a good amount. Kamada was out on loan. How well has he developed? That's interesting. We know he can be very good. He's still only 18, though. Hernandez got 19 assists, which is great as well. Transfer budget, 52 million. It's not as bad as what I thought it could be.
You've got a big wage budget as well.
Yeah, the wage budget does bump it up, I'd say, to probably about 66. But yeah, not amazing. We'll have to see what I bring in with that. But let's count up the points then of season number 3. So season 3, Omega Luke got 6 points. Dad got 2 and Stinger got 6, meaning the total points now are Omega Luke with 29, Dad with 13 and Stinger with 8. Season number 4 then. Let's have a look, Stinger, at your transfers, because you had a busy window. 9 million out, 135 in.
Yeah, this is a big window, but a lot of it is backup again. But I think people can see me coming and just making me overpay. But I did get a few freebies in Prince and in from Dortmund to cover DiMarco and Samadzik to cover everywhere, basically. His technicals are outrageous and he can shoot from anywhere. He's got long shots for 16, which we might need. Backup goalkeeper in Skorupski from Bologna, and then the big signing in Michael Elise, because I've got an idea where I want to play him, from Bayern Munich. And a guy I bought at the same time as Elise, in case I didn't get Elise across the line, is Lovro Mayer, mostly because of his crossing and corner ability. I'm trying to mimic DiMarco in other areas of the pitch. And speaking of DiMarco, a late move for Pervis Estupiñán from Brighton, just because DiMarco's played about 500 games in 2 seasons, so he needs a bit of a rest now and again.
Wow, that's no fault of your own, though, is it right?
Absolutely none my fault. It's all the assistant manager.
Let's have a look then tactically. How are you setting up this season?
Shock horror, we've changed again. I'm not panicking or anything, honestly. So we've got 4-2-3-1, inspired by Hansi Flick this time. He's having a bit of an up and down time at Barca, so maybe I should have rethought this, but a bit of a classic 4-2-3-1. Wingbacks are going to get super high. A new role for Lautaro Martinez. I'm going to retrain him while we play, so that's a bit of a risk. In just behind, don't know if you've heard of this guy up front called Esposito. He's going to have a go this season up front.
Never heard of him.
No.
Good young talent, trust.
And he's playing him as deep line forward as well.
That's disgusting.
Listen, I've got to save ongoing at the
Him and
minute.
Martinez will be running into each other.
No, listen. I've got to save ongoing at the minute. Esposito is perfect at that role, and he's going to score at least 30 this season. Bookmark it.
All right, okay.
I mean, when I got the 3 up front eventually, that's where I did play him. So yeah, he is. I feel that he is a good that position.
Exactly. And one more thing, I am learning from you two. Instead of locking 10 players in now, I've locked in 8.
Just the 8.
Because last season, I had a look at my squad view, and they'd all played nearly 60 matches, so...
No.
Well, don't worry, mate. By season number 10 of this 5-year rebuild we're going to do, you might have might nail it.
I'm learning.
Just only get 1 player in.
I'm learning from the Jedis, what can I say?
All right, Dad, let's have a look at your season then. £116 million on the ins, 2 free transfers, 1 being Rabiot, bringing him back to Juve.
I've just gone mainly for the strength of the team, like I do. When I get quite a bit of money, I go what I call the spine of the team, don't I? And I've done it this season. It's 1 striker, 1 centre midfielder, 1 centre back, and 1 goalkeeper. So I feel that I've strengthened the whole team here, or the whole squad definitely, and possibly my starting lineup.
Okay, so you've even got a left back in there for £19 million.
Good young lad, good for the future. Might lock him in. I might
and
not.
you have indeed locked him in.
Yeah, I took a little sort of thing off Stinger, really, of locking players in. So I've locked.
Oh, that's worked really well for you both.
So yeah, I'm quite happy. I've changed the formation, so I got the 2 up front that I wanted to play up front. So yeah, and I'm keeping the wingers up high, which is still a bit of a gamble. I think it's mainly because they play better in those positions, really. So yeah, I'm going for this sort of formation now with the 2 players locked in.
Okay, well, let's have a look at my transfer window, the final one. 176 million. We all spent a lot of money, but that's because I sold £66 million Diogo Jota after 1 season I think he had with me. Played 35 games, but only 27 starts, did not do very well, and got more money for him. So, God only knows. Thank the Lord for Saudi Arabia on Football Manager, am I right? They might be ruining the game in real life, but I love it on the game. Now, Noah Okafor also left for 21 million, so again, that gave me a good amount. And thank the Lord for Saudi Arabia again, because they could never keep players past their contracts. Ruben Neves joined from Al Hilal on a free transfer. Really good player, and he's only 29, so fantastic player in that DM role. Then I spent big. Now, where's your your, I guess, method is to buy a few players in multiple positions around that 40 to 50 million pound mark. I've decided to go for the one player in the two positions that I need. 85 million for João Pedro, and then I thought I can afford another one. That's the reason why I sold a few players, as you can see here, and I bought in Scalvini. We've seen how well Atalanta have been doing. He's been good in their little pursuit of causing you two trouble, so I'm hoping that stays that way again. Tactically, not locking anyone in, but this is my strongest 11, as you can see. João Pedro goes up front, Leal on the left, Pulisic on the right. Scalvini goes into that ball-playing defender on cover, so I'm really happy with that, and Neves goes in as well. So my three players that I've just brought in all go into the starting 11, so that's really good. Let's look at the schedule, because we started off and I've dropped points, although I picked up a point because I have beaten Stinger. Got a bit of revenge on you there, mate, after the couple of wins that you got off me last season. Yeah. So a 0-0 draw after that against Monza. So God only knows how I haven't scored against them there. And then a 3-0 against Sassuolo. So it's been a good start. Champions League fixtures that I've got here: Benfica, Liverpool at home again, Newcastle. I think that's twice I've got both of those two games in the Champions League. Let's have a look at yours, Dad, before we take a look at Stingers there. You've dropped points to Sassuolo. Of course, they finished above you last season.
Yeah, disappointed with that.
You were 1-0 up. Noah Okafor scored against you. My plan is working already. Monza, though, you beat them 3-0 after I failed to beat them, and Salernitana 2-1. You're in the Europa League.
Not a great start. Yeah, I'm hoping for a few good points out of this league again.
Yeah,
so.
well, it's already picked up a trophy there already. Yeah. Manchester United, Genk, Celtic. Really, no. To be fair, no, I can't even defend them. No, definitely not. Stinger, let's have a look at your schedule, mate. How has this been played out? You lost, of course, that first game of the season, but 2 wins after that, again, against 2 really tricky opponents.
Yeah, that one against Napoli is the one I'm looking at now. It looks good. We created a load of chances. So, yeah, I'm happy. And Esposito scored as well. So, there you go.
All right, Champions League fixtures. Do you fancy your chances here? Liverpool away to kick things off. Real Madrid at home.
Looks tricky, but once them fixtures are out the way, we've got the likes of Hajduk Split. Oh, Napoli are in there again. But it seems like I've got their number. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Your first three fixtures, get them out of the way, and you should be all right, mate, shouldn't you?
Yeah, Basel, Hajduk, Leipzig could be tricky, but yeah, we should be all right.
All right, then, season number 4. Let's see what happens. All right, season number 4. At least you guys are closer this time round. I've still got another Serie A to my name. 4 in a row now.
Mate, we got to try and do something here.
This is getting a bit ridiculous.
I only lost 2 and only conceded 14, which is 1 goal more than last season. Now, I scored way more last season, 113. Only 79 this time round, but defensively still incredible. Lost 2 games. One of them, of course, was that first game of the season.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased with that. 7 losses in total for you, Stinger. 1 against each of us there. And 8 losses for Dad. 1 against each. So we did draw against each other. Not too bad for you guys, but still some way off.
I mean, we all drew the same amount of games, 6, so that's quite good, really. So down to the defence, isn't it? Your defence is a lot better than ours at the moment.
At the minute, yeah. Past positions, if we're looking at that, it was me and Stinger fighting for the title at one point, mid-season. Yeah. I think I just pulled it away there. You must have had a bad sort of February, March, by the looks of it.
And I think
dropping points there in March and February.
Yeah, I think I know why.
Oh, your players are tired?
No. My key player, this is where I think there's a conspiracy going on, because all pre-season Luke did was praise Saudi, right? In January, Marcus Thuram leaves to Saudi. Now, at that point, for me, he was absolutely flying with 13 and 18 from inside forward, with an average rating of 7.49, and he's gone for the almighty dollar. And after that, that's when we fall to second. So I call conspiracy.
Oh, you can write a good job. At least it ain't Villa. They've been quite quiet this video.
I've seen him
there we go.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Disappointed, really.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the goals. Vlahovic takes home the golden boot. None of our players are up there. Maybe Thuram might have been up there if he stayed. Because he had the highest average rating still across the season after only playing until January. And he was third in the player of the matches with 5.
I mean, stick the knife in.
Yeah. I will. It could have been great for you. Mike Mannion with 25 clean sheets. That's outstanding. Trubin there with 18. Jorgensen with 14. Team overview. Most goals were scored by Stingers into Milan with 83. Milan was 79. 72 for Juve. After that, I conceded the fewest with 14. Less than half, sorry. Then Stingers 29 and most clean sheets with 26 there. We're on AC Milan. Competitions. Coppa Italia winners. Get in another domestic double against Juve. Oh my God. 5-0 winners.
That's embarrassing.
Oh.
Embarrassing, that is.
You need Esposito up
Can't
front.
blame Saudi Arabia for that one.
That goes a shot. I was really pleased with my defence. I thought I had a good defence, you know.
Yeah, they were cracking on the day. João Pedro got himself a hat-trick in 41 minutes. Rafael Leao. I mean, I was 5-0 up at half-time. Felt sorry for you and took my foot off the pedal there. You might have picked up some points from knocking Stinger out along the way. We'll have to soon find out. I did also win the Super Cup. I beat Inter in the finals, so that's 1 point there. We didn't play against Juve, who didn't make it this season. All right, Dad, let's have a look. How far did you get in the other competitions? Of course, you're in the Europa League as well. Quarter-finals by Sporting. Oh, that's come back to haunt you. Stealing a couple of their players along the way, and they've come back and knocked you out of the Europa League. We can have a look at this, because obviously me and Stinger weren't in it. Rennes got knocked out as well. Good old Rats. Quarter-final exit. Man United went on to win it. As you said, they were easy, weren't they, in the league phase?
Yeah, I did play against them in the league phase. I was top of the group.
Yeah, you did beat them. But I would rather win the trophy and pick up a loss in the league phase than go in 8 out of 8. So you went into the round of 16, beat AZ Alkmaar, and that's when you failed to beat Sporting in the quarter-final. All right, over to Stinger. Competitions, maybe he's won a Champions League. Esposito's top scorer. Quarter-final by Barcelona. Fiorentina again have knocked you out of the Coppa Italia.
So these quarterfinals all take place in the second half of the season, where I am Taramless. Otherwise, we would have definitely won a treble here.
Fiorentina are the Aston Villa of the Serie A.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Al Hilal are the Aston Villa of Saudi Arabia for stealing Tehran.
I mean, Fiorentina play in a very similar type of kit in the colour-wise. They play in a claret/purple. It's nowhere near
That's
purple.
a reach. That's a reach.
Yeah, it is a reach, but I'm going with it because they've knocked you out 3 times the Coppa Italia, and I like the link. Let's have a look at your goals. I see Michael Elise's done very well in terms across the whole season. Got a 7.2 average rating. Most goals, Esposito, 22.
I'll say no more. Rest my case, Stinger.
I'm dropping him next season out of principle.
Martinez got 18 as well. Elise got 14 and 12. That's not too bad. Let's have a look at the transfer budget for you next year. Yeah, still getting money. I mean, £18 million with a very good wage budget to spend next season.
Yeah.
Got to be happy with that.
Come on, mate. We've got to stop him from winning the league the last season.
Yeah, well, my board can see what's happening here.
All right, we'll see. Dad, Vlahovic with 32 goals, 18 and 12 for
So
Horta.
listen, he hasn't let me down. The 5 seasons have been there, really, so I'm quite happy with that, really.
Skamaka was 17.
That was a good first season. 17 goals, only 3 assists, so they're not passing each other. That's the only thing I can see there.
Locked in Rooney Baji, he's done all right. Development-wise isn't amazing compared to what he did for you at Benfica, but still good amount.
Yeah.
Rafa, who you also locked in, are you happy with that bit development
yes, a lot. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. So he'll definitely be playing there next season, I think.
Okay, transfer budget, 77 million, very similar to Stinger's budget. Which leaves the AC Milan. Let's see, 25 goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin this season.
Big surprise.
Yeah, he weren't playing there last year. 15 for Rafael Leao, 14 for João Pedro. Looks like he was playing on the right and left quite a lot of the time. Pulisic still played a good amount, though. Thiago Hernandez did well. All right, Kamada with 12 goals in 30 appearances. Again, at Genoa in the Serie A. So,
again,
I am tempted to use him in the final year. Transfer budget, I got £53 million. But let's have a look at the points. Okay, season 4 points are Omega Luke with 11, Dad with 1, and Stinger with 2, meaning the total points are now Omega Luke with 40, Dad with 14, and Stinger with 10. All right, Dad, let's start with your transfer window. Just 3 players in, but £97 million spent.
Where you were always telling me to concentrate on 1 or 2 players rather than squad players.
It's about time.
So I've bought 2 good players here for a lot of money, and this guy here for free, which I think is such a good free signing as well. And probably, I know I'm going to change my tactic just because of these free signings I've got in. So I've got a really good centre midfielder, really good striker and a really good winger come midfield winger type of thing. So that's giving you a clue where I'm going.
Yeah, let's have a look. We've gone for a 4-3-3 with wide wingers. Wow.
Yeah, I've played the wingers out wide, further up the field because I've got 3 attackers this time. I'm going to drop them back into the midfield playing as wingers. So on support will be strong midfielder in the middle there. I'm going to go for it.
Okay, so Rooney Badgie locked in on that right-hand side because Gonzalez goes in there.
Yeah.
Of course, you've got some... I mean, you've got incredible amounts of good centre midfielders who now don't have a position to go in. Milinkovic-Savic, Thuram, Polina.
I wanted to get 3 up front. I've got 3 good... I've got 3 really what I would class as world strikers there now. So I've got to stop you from winning the league, mate. I've got to do it somehow, so I'm going for you. And what I would class as 3 good midfielders, really. Okay,
let's have a look at Stinger's transfers going into this season then. £131 million spent.
They like giving me money, don't they?
Yeah, free transfer and 3 signings.
Yeah, pretty elite free transfer, I think. Stolen from Napoli and Raspadori. I don't think he'll start, but he can cover every forward position going. And then I've gone for big time pace out wide. Trying to replace Thuram. I don't know if you'd heard, but Saudi stole Thuram. Savinho from City. Spent a lot of money on him, but I do have a non-EU slot, so he jumps in. And Amad Diallo. So they might end up competing for the same place, but that's good. And a little central midfielder in from Roma as well. Bove, class, can play either defensive midfield or centre mid. He might not get in, but some good cover.
And tactically,
staying the same. I'm not normally a 4-2-3-1 in-your-face pressing type of guy, but I need to do something to stop you winning the league and hopefully score goals against you. So we're going with that again.
Yeah, a couple of player roles that I've noticed you switched around there. The DLF going to a centre forward.
Yes, sorry. So we've got a complete forward in, and we're only locking in. You ready, guys? 1, 2, 4, 7 this time with 4. So I wanted the striker positions and attacking midfield to stay fresh. So we're going to rotate them to an inside forward, more creative on the right side with an inverted winger because Elise has been flying out there. And then we're going to rotate the strikers and hopefully they can come up with the goals between them.
I'm telling you, mate, season number 10, you'll be unbelievable in this.
I'm learning.
All right, let's have a look at my transfer window and see what I've done in this final year. £179 million, and I've sold a few players as well. The likes of Yunus Munster's gone out. Colombo's gone. Emerson Royale somehow stayed 4 seasons in my team. I don't know how either. But that has allowed me to spend quite a bit of money. Pedro Porro being a good signing on that right-hand side. Probably the one position I haven't replaced since the beginning. I think he's probably the go-to guy for wing-backs that I could get. It's a shame he plays for Spurs, really. Casuno from Atalanta, though. Every time they get a good player, I steal him, and he costs me a fortune.
For us too. It makes them a little bit weaker for us.
Oh, look at you trying to think about runners-up.
That is grasping at straws, that. Come on.
Casuno comes in. He's only 26. A very quick and strong centre-back. Goes alongside his buddy Scalvini, of course, at centre-back there. I've got a really good defence now. Well, they were good anyway, but don't touch the front 3. Let's see how they play out. Schedule. Played a lot of games. Haven't played either of you two yet. Played 5, won 5. Even beat Parma 7-1 in there. I am conceding more goals, though, which is a bit alarming, but still picking up the wins. In the Champions League, I've got Bayern Munich and Dortmund to kick things off. Leipzig as well, so 3 German sides. Arsenal and Inter Milan again. So me and Stinger are clashing in the Champions League for a second time there. Let's have a look at Stinger's schedule at the start of the season. Picked up a loss against Napoli.
Yeah.
1-3.
Tricky away game, but I'm a bit disappointed, especially because the game before that we smashed 7 past Parma. So yeah, we might be a bit leaky going back, but we'll see.
And in the Champions League, of course, you've got myself, but you've also got Rennes in there, so I hope you actually win that one. Real Madrid away from home, though, in the second fixture is going to be tough. Got both Madrid games away, back-to-back.
That's kind of rough, isn't it? Both of those two back-to-back away. So I've got an absolute guaranteed 3 points against AC Milan in that league campaign, so that's all right. So we should be okay.
I like the talk, but can you walk the walk? Let's see Dad's schedule then at the start of the season. Drop points to Torino, but 1 against Genoa, Empoli and Parma.
At the beginning of the season, I've given him an hammer and they'll take points off me in it. So.
Generally think you've played him at the start every single season.
I'll tell you what I have noticed there is Parma took a hammering off all 3 of us.
Yeah, they've got to be bottom of the league, surely. They aren't. They've won 1 game, that's why. They do have a minus 17 goal difference. Played all 3 of us.
Well, you two put 7 past them and I put 5.
Yeah, so there we go. Champions League, you got Chelsea in there, Dad. Where's Champions League? There we go. Chelsea's in there, Man City. You've also got Rennes, so that's 2 games I hope you both win.
Game as well, so yeah, it's going to be difficult for me, but I think I'll scrape through.
All right, then. A lot of hope going into season number 5. Talking about runners-up.
I'm confident in the league. I'm going to win the league. I've got to.
All right, season number 5 then. Let's see what happens. All right, season number 5. Dad, you've picked up a title.
Do you know what I'm gutted about? I was going to play 3 up front in the 3rd season and I didn't do it. Bottled it and gone to it and won.
God, you beat me by a point.
Yeah, but I did lose my last 2 games, so I was quite far ahead of it. So I nearly chucked it away.
You did, to be fair. Inter Milan's up there as well, 85. That's the closest we have been as a 3 in that final season.
Anybody and no one else was near us. Like,
no.
Beyond Stinger, so
that's it.
Yeah.
Dad, you lost 5 games in total, both against AC Milan, so I pick up a couple of points straight away there.
3 against me each time.
I lost 4, didn't lose against you guys. I did lose against Parma though. That's also quite alarming. After they finish in 7th
How the hell
with
did
a
they
minus
recover?
10 goal difference.
How did they recover from that?
I don't know. Stinger lost 7 games. He lost both times against you, Dad, and 1 against me there. We actually did quite well. Your both of your guys' goals is quite high. Dad got 128. You got 102 there, but you only conceded 36. Stinger, your goal difference was quite good considering you lost quite a few games there. 7 games. Your goal difference isn't too bad really. In terms of the past positions, was it chop and change? Oh, we were all up there at some point.
That could have gone any way.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah, you and Stinger were actually fighting for the title for quite a lot.
Yeah.
I was like kind of out the picture halfway through the season, if you're looking at that, maybe in terms of the title race, but I never actually took top spot off of any of you guys again. Okay, profile of the league. Wow, that is dominated by Juve. Vlahovic and Scamacca with the most goals. Lautaro Martinez there breaking it up from being a 3-peat in terms of Retegui getting 20 as well. Loa Sopenda is at Atalanta, so if I went another season, that would have been my signing.
Yeah.
All right, that's who I would have gone for, just to let you know. Di Catalere is also there as well. I might have gone for him. But Vlahovic and Scamacca is also the highest average rating. Jorgensen of Inter Milan with the most clean sheets with 20. Vlahovic with 9. You boys booked your ideas up in season number 5. I still have the fewest conceded, but Stinger had the most clean sheets this time round with 1 more. And then most goals, Dad obviously won that one with 128. Stinger came second in that. So if you guys had just done this in earlier seasons, AC Milan though, let's have a look at the competitions. Did I top it off? I might not want to top it off with a title, but maybe a Champions League. No, and the Coppa Italia semi-final by Juventus. Dad knocking me out of the Coppa Italia.
I'm in the final. Is it Stinger I got in the final?
Well, I beat you in the Super Cup, so I get a point there. In the semi-final, Dad, you beat Stinger in that one, so you get a point. Let's see. Let's move over to Stinger then and see if he won any other competitions. Coppa Italia winner!
Beat me in the final, mate.
Let's go. This was starting to look bad, but it's now bad, but not as bad.
Yeah. 1-0 against Dad in the final. Amad Diallo, one of your new signings, picked up the win there. I do like Inter Milan's away kit this year. That yellow is stunning, I think. Really good win, that one. For stopping Dad. So each of you won a title in that final year. Round of 16 by Real Madrid in the Champions League. And Dad, your final competition, maybe a Champions League? No. Round of 16 by Liverpool. Yeah. So this is kind of, I mean, where did I get to? I can't remember if I went. Yeah, I went to the quarterfinal there with Manchester City knocking me out. You guys both in the round of 16, Liverpool and Liverpool and Real Madrid. What about in that knockout playoff round? All 3 of us played in it. So I beat Rangers 8-1 on aggregate. Stinger beat Sevilla 4-0. Dad, you beat Chelsea 5-3. So that was good. The league phase then. Oh, look at us all together. Just like in the league title, just in a different order, all with 13 or 14 points. I lost 2 against Bayern Munich and Leipzig. Drew to Stinger, so no points again being distributed there, so that's fine. 4 points, or 4 wins side. Nice, a nice little 6-0. Stinger lost. Oh, Stinger, you lost to Rennes, mate. That is...
Did it on purpose just to annoy you because you've won everything.
Yeah. Fair enough. And then 3 losses for Dad, who didn't lose to Rennes. But you drew against them, so it made you both look silly.
Where did he finish? Oh, 17th.
17th. Did they get very far? I noticed that they got, not Manchester United knocked them out. Get in. Bayern Munich went on to win that Champions League, beating Liverpool in the final there. So final time then, let's look at the goals, because Dad, whoa. Vlahovic with 38 and 26 assists. Scamacca with 34. Retegui with 26. Even Gonzalez got 23.
Three up front. They didn't let me down at all, did they?
No, I mean, Bruni Badji got you 29
Yeah, I should have went
assists.
to that tactic earlier, shouldn't I? I'm annoyed with myself now.
Yeah, I would be too. £31 million, so you made the most out of the money while it was there. Stinger did get 34 for Lautaro Martinez, 19 from Raspadori. Elise getting a good season as well, 16 and 15.
Elise is one of my best signings, I think. And it's interesting that Raspadori started that amount of matches. Don't think Savinho and Diallo got much of a... Well, Savinho, 15 matches, Diallo, a few more, but yeah, it's not bad, is it? Raspadori, one of the best free transfers you can get, I think.
That is a great signing, to be fair.
Yeah.
Transfer budget-wise, £25 million. This save game file will be made available on Patreon or on the channel membership page, so make sure if you want to have a look, you can see it there. And finally, AC Milan, my AC Milan side. João Pedro got me 26, 17 and 17 for Calvert-Lewin and Pavlovic. Ruben Neves got 20 assists. Pulisic got 16. Pedro Porro got 16 assists as well. Transfer budget for me was 60 million. I actually had the most there. But points. I think I've won it, but let's have a double check. And let's see who comes second. All right, season number 5 points are Omega Luke with 5, Dad with 8, and Stinger with 4. Meaning the total points are Omega Luke with 45, Dad with 22, and Stinger with 14. Guys, 45 points, 22
Stinger,
and
even with our
14.
points put together, we still didn't beat him.
This is it's a learning curve.
Well, I think locking in too many players was definitely a mistake there.
That is the big takeaway. I mean, I've been last twice now. This is like an ego destroyer, this.
Well, I'm sure you'll be back for Redemption Part 2. At some point.
This is just not fair.
But let us know down in the comments what 3 teams you want to see us take on if Stinger does come back to do another rebuild, because I think he definitely is learning. This is obviously only his second time in this format.
Talking about learning, I've definitely learned something off you from Stinger, though, which I'm glad about, really, and that's not to lock any players in.
This is it. This is it. I'll tell you this. If I finish last in the next one, you'll never see me again. I'm out of here.
Well, thank you very much for coming on again, mate.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, I'd like to say, but, but it was.
Well, I enjoyed it anyway. Thank you very much for coming on. Make sure you check out Stinger's channel because he's a lot better than what he's showcasing, I think, here. And his videos are very fun, very well put together, and his tactics are always fun and unique. And that's what I like about Stinger's content. So, of course, go over and check out Stinger's channel, just like you did on the last one, because I really appreciate you guys doing that and supporting. And, of course, make sure you are subscribed and help us get to that 200,000 subscriber mark by the end of next year. That would be great. That's my aim, I think, to get to that before 2025 comes to an end. But really appreciate it. On screen right now is the other 3-year rebuild we did with Stinger, as well as the full movie of Dad and I racing to the Super League. So if you haven't seen either of them, that's one I'd suggest to go and watch. Thank you very much. See you soon.